What's going on, YouTube? This is Mr. Traham, your favorite teacher's favorite teacher. I'm at you one more time with another video. This time we're rounding whole numbers, right? And I have the place value chart that's going to help us round the numbers, right? So rounding is important because rounding is one of the main ways where you estimate, especially in fourth grade. So what we're going to do two things. We're going to round 182,356 to the nearest thousand, and then we're going to round 182,356 to the nearest 100,000, right? The same rules apply, right? Step number one, you are going to put your number in the place value chart. So we're going to start off with this number. We're going to put a 6 in the ones place, a 5 in the tens, a 3 in the hundreds, a 2 in the thousands, an 8 in the 10,000s, and a 1 in the 100,000s. This is 182,356, right? That's step one. You put the number in the place value chart correctly. That's the reason why I start from the ones place and I go that way, so it lines up perfectly, right? Step number two. I am going to circle the spot that I'm rounding to. I'm going to identify that spot, right? So I said I want to round to the nearest thousands first. So the place value spot, the place value chart easily helps you identify the spot. I'm going to round to the nearest thousand. What this does is it helps you focus on the spot that you're rounding to. If you know anything about rounding, there's only two answers. Either 182,000 can stay the same, or it can go up by 1,000 because you're rounding to the nearest thousand. So the answer is either 182,000 or 183,000. If it stays the same, it's 182. If it goes up by 1, it's 183,000. All right? It's just rounding basics. Now, from there, I'm going to underline the number behind it. All right? Basically, the rounding instructions imply that if the number behind it is 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4, then the circle number stays the same. If the underlying number is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, then that means the circle number, you add one more. These are the generic rules of rounding. If the underlying number behind it, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, the circle number stays the same. If the underlying number is 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, you're going to add one more. Why, Mr. Traham? If the spot behind it is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, you're getting closer to the next one. So it makes sense that you would be adding one more to it, right? So if we look here, my underlying number is a 3, which means the circle number needs to stay the same. So what I'm going to do right here is bring the 2 right here. I'm going to keep it the same. Now, once you get past this, everything in front of the 2 also stays the same. So that means the 8 here stays the same and the 1 here stays the same, which makes sense. That's 182,000. But everything behind it becomes a 0. Why, Mr. T? Because I want to focus on the thousands place that I'm rounding to. Some people make the mistake of bringing down these, and these are all stay the same. So they will put a 3, a 5, and a 6. But that's not rounding to the nearest thousands. The rounding to the nearest thousand is 182,000. So again, the spot was told to stay the same. Everything in front of it stays the same, but everything behind it becomes zeros. All right? This is rounding 182,356 to the nearest thousands place. So what I'm going to do now is round it to the nearest 100,000th place. Bear with me. Alrighty, we're using the same number, 182,356. Now we're gonna round to the nearest 100,000, right? My number is in the place value chart. Correct, you're good on that. But now I have to identify the new spot we're rounding to. We want to round to the 100,000 place, right? So I'm going to round the 1. If the 1 in the hundredth thousand stays the same, the answer is 100,000. If the 1 in the 100,000 place goes up, the answer is 200,000, right? So Mr. T, what determines if it's 100,000 or 200,000? Well, I have to underline the spot behind it, right? There's an 8 behind it. And according to the rules of rounding, if the underlined number is 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4, the circle number stays the same. But here, the underlined number falls down here, which is 5, 6, 7, or 8. My underlined number is 8. That means the circle number, I need to add 1 more. I need to add 1 more to this 1 in the 100,000s and make it 200,000. This is plus 1, right? I added 1 more. Now this is 2 in the 100,000 place. There's nothing in front of it to stay the same, and everything behind it, like I said, becomes zeros. Do not bring down everything behind it because you'll be exactly at the number you are already at, 182,356, right? We want to round it. We want to follow the rules around it. Anything in front of it stays the same. Anything behind the spot that you are interested in becomes zeros. This is 182,356 rounded to the nearest 100,000. And it makes sense because 182,356 is between 100,000 and 200,000. But the nearest 100,000 is 200,000. All right, so this is Mr. Traham. It's a real quick lesson with 2 examples on rounding whole numbers. Peace.